Coming to data storage, so you talked about different tools. Now we have transactional data. We have now when you talk about analytical data, which would be like maybe batch processed. Now, in what scenarios would you look at the storage? Like when I look at OLTP or OLAP, data warehouse or data lake, right? Uh, what are the scenarios, and when should I really go ahead and choose which one?
Sure. This is very critical question, especially for startups, because uh, I have spoken to organizations where they started using since they were growing, right? They started using MySQL as a transactional database, which was fine. It is meant to run transactional workloads, but then they also hooked into MySQL their BI tools, BI engines, which had complex queries, right? And that's when even the transactional workloads started suffering because the processing of those complex SQLs would take most of the resources, right?
Okay.
So it's important to understand. It's okay if we are very small and then we have budget limitations or resource limitations. It's okay to use a single monolithic database for both the use cases. Then now we have read replicas and all those things on cloud to support the read workloads. But as we grow, as the data grows, OLAP storage or OLAP data stores would have different mechanisms to handle that scale of data, especially if we
Okay.
speak of several terabytes or petabytes. We need to partition the data internally. There are internal indexes which are maintained, and partition pruning is done so that I'm reading less data. Uh, I'm touching storage very less. Most of the thing comes out of buffers and caches, and even the storage is columnar, so that I generally in reporting or in complex warehousing queries, we use very less columns in select clause. Never use a star because the data size is huge, and the columns, since data warehouse should have good variety, we have a lot of columns, and if we do a select star, it would actually have a lot of negative impact, performance impact on the system. So the columnar engine is meant for if we have less columns in my select clause, it only hits the blocks where that particular column data is stored. It really
Okay.
helps reducing the I/O and improving the performance several times. So the architectures are different for OLTP and OLAP. As we grow, we should ideally move our OLAP and reporting and analytics workloads to data warehouses, which I mentioned, right? BigQuery, Snowflake, Redshift. These are all data warehouses which have a different mechanism to handle those sort of data.